Okay, where to start with that media conference there from the Prime Minister? We heard from the Treasurer as well. But I think that was a good demonstration of how Anthony Albanese pivots during a media conference. There were some pointed questions there that he just wouldn't go to. And even when there were follow-up questions, well, we saw what happened there. He quickly pivots onto another answer or another question and ignores the questioner. Really important to look at what's happened here. And this is two issues at play. The IMF warning that Australia could lose its AAA credit rating, and also the government late yesterday, releasing its costings. That's where it says, well, this is how all our promises add up and this is what the budget outcome will be. At the start of this media conference, you had both Jim Chalmers and the Prime Minister come out and say, well, we've released our costings, where's the opposition? I mean, I think it's a bit rich to turn around and less than 12 hours ago, they've released their costings and now they're asking the coalition to cough up. They both should have done it weeks ago if we're entirely honest about that. But I want to get to these costings. In particular, there was a really good question there by Andrew Probyn, also Mark Riley, when it comes to how everything adds up. So essentially, Labor has said they will offset what they have announced during this campaign in terms of what they're promising with cuts to consultation with consultants in the public service. Those savings amount to about $7 billion. So they're saying we're going to use less consultants, $7 billion less worth of consultants, and no jobs are apparently going to be lost. The question there from Andrew Probyn was, what have you been doing for the last 3 years then, and haven't you been cooking the books? Cooking the books, it seems like the most pertinent question here, because not using consultants, I mean, it seems like an accounting trick, doesn't it? And then Jim Chalmers at the same time also saying, well, on the alternative, well, the coalition is going to cut some 41,000 jobs out of the public service in Canberra, but we're not going to, but still going to make a $7 billion saving. I think it all depends on where those jobs are lost from. Pulling $7 billion out of that marketplace and not seeing a single job lost, I don't think that is at all acceptable to a reasonable person's mind, that there would be no jobs lost. And whether that is an accounting trick, well, you can make up your mind there. In terms of the what is off-repeated and this budget turnaround, it was a very reasonable question there from Trudy McIntosh. Yes, there was a forecast from the coalition of where the budget would be better off, and it was $78 billion. But the actual budget position at the end of that financial year was actually $32 billion better than that $78 billion that was forecast by the coalition. The follow-up question, the journos backing themselves up today, the question there, which Anthony Albanese didn't even attempt to answer, was, so you saying you turned around $50 billion worth of savings in some 6 weeks? He didn't answer that question. We'll replay it to you and we'll go over some of the things that they have said during that media conference there and some of the claims that they have made. That being said, we still haven't seen the opposition's costings. We are going to see them this week, even though Jim Chalmers said they're not going to tell you what the cuts are until after the election. The truth is, we're going to have to see both of them. If both of these major parties do what they say they're going to do, there's going to have to be cuts on both sides.